Hey, how y'all doing? I've been wanting to do a couple videos recently, actually. A lot of stuff's been going on. So with my salon, trying to get that up and running, and just working with others in partnerships. And this is probably, it's not really difficulties. Everybody's doing their part to get the thing going and get it done. But working with partnerships and coming to compromises and just being honest with the other partner, just saying, hey, listen, man, you got to get this done this way. We have no time or options to get into a situation where, people can't come up with their shares or anything like that, and how to work through that. So one of the bigger things that one of the best things with myself that I find myself and the mindset I find myself in when it comes to dealing with partnerships is being able to, it's kind of loud in the background, but being able to find resolutions for the issues that we're having. And if you can't do that, and if you can't do that in a way that just works for everybody, then it's really hard. So if you start doing the whole blame game, this person doing this person doing that, not being able to listen and take the brunt of everyone, of a person venting and saying, hey, man, this person didn't do this in the partnership or whatever, it's going to be very hard to deal with a partnership. So I'd say when you get into a partnership, understand that at some point in time that you might have to make up for someone else, and that you also might have to just part ways as well. I don't think that's a problem with us. What we're going through right now, we're just really trying to finish up our project. A lot of things held us back from completing the project, and that's another thing that you have to see and understand is that sometimes it's not the other partner's fault. Certain extenuating circumstances could really cause it to where it'll cause a strain on the partnership that is just not the other partner's fault. It's out of their control. But if you're going to start playing the blame game, then that's going to be a whole nother issue, and you're going to have all types of other problems that are going to arise from that. So that's going to be something within you that you have to actually look at, in a sense, fix, or just get past and understand, and maybe even tell your other partner, hey, listen, this is how I am, man. Because even my business partner has said before, he's like, hey, listen, Mike, man, I procrastinate. I'm not going to lie. So with me knowing that, I structured a portion of our expenses so that he would be last, and then I made it to where, or I made sure that myself, I said, hey, listen, pretty soon you're going to have to do this, pretty soon you're going to have to do this, and let that business partner know. Now, it's still can be a problem, but sometimes you just got to deal with certain people and look at the overall goal. Talking with another business partner in my IT consulting company last night, and we were just talking about differences in, because we want to get into real estate eventually, and we were talking about differences in the way our thinking was. So for instance, we're looking at a property, and he was like, well, listen, man, you're not going to make anything monthly off that property. And I was like, well, if I take a 15-year mortgage as opposed to a 30, my 30 will be lower, and I'll make rental income throughout that. But at the same time, it's going to take me 30 years from now, for me to actually really make some decent money off of that. Of course, you can take equity out of the home and all that, but you probably want to take that out so you can use it for repairs. So I'm looking long term, in a sense. I'm saying 15 years, do a 15-year mortgage, pay the higher price, but have your tenant pay that. You're not getting much money out of it. Then you're going to take that money, or all that money goes back into it if you're doing Airbnb or anything else, to do repairs, to maintain the property, if you have to get a new roof or something like that. But most likely you're just going to take that out of the equity of the home and probably do a loan based off of that. That's possible. But in 15 years, so I'm 32 now, if I get the property today, I was thinking by 35 we can start doing this. But 15 years after I get the property, everything runs well enough, hopefully, of course. And then you can go forward and say, all right, cool. By the time I'm 50, that property should be free and clear of mortgage. And then all I have to do is pay the little bit of maintenance costs or utilities and things like that. Then it's all rental income. So he was like, well, nah, I don't like that because, you know, I think I should just flip it. And I'm like, you know, I understand what he's saying, you know, and he didn't say it nasty, but he's like, nah, I don't really like that. I'd rather, like, we were joking when he said that. So he was like, well, I'd rather get as much as I can out of it. And I was like, well, the only way you're going to do that, because he was talking about putting, like, say, the property, I think it was like 140K. It was a very small house, like 800 square feet. It was like an apartment, really, masquerading as a home. And I was like, well, you're going to have to put down more money. He was like, well, you're going to have to put down maybe like 20, 30 grand or something like that. He was like 20, 30 grand all in one property like that, and you can just take that money and do something else. And I was like, that's the only way you're going to have, like, and we just talked through it. We explained it. It's not a real estate course. I couldn't teach one anyhow. You know, I'm trying to get better at that eventually. But we talked through it. And he understood my point, and I understood his point. And we were looking at properties in different areas on the west coast of Florida. Let me go inside. Sorry, I had a customer site here. But we were looking at properties in different areas on the west coast of Florida, and then on our side of Florida, which is the east coast, South Florida, like Miami-Dade, Broward County, and stuff like that. And West Palm Beach, of course, too, where Boca is and all that. And I said pretty much if you're going to get one of those, like if you're going to get any property, you're going to have to put quite a bit down just so you can make a decent amount of income. Now, if you're saying that you're going to flip the house, you know, and we just went through it. But again, getting back to the point of this video, which I guess is really just talking about dealing with how to deal with partnerships and, you know, how to work with partners. Kind of like a man business video, I guess. But you have to have that willingness to communicate. The ability to say, hey, listen, I feel that you're wrong. This is why. But I do understand why you want to do it. And this is why. Or agree to disagree and let's talk through it. And I told him, I said, listen, if we open a company, I'd have you do that because I don't want to do that. If anything, I would look for long-term. I would look for something long-term and something that would get us money in perpetuity and pretty much kind of fund our retirement. You get 2 or 3 properties underneath you. You get 2 or 3 properties, and then, you know, you're making maybe about $1,000, $2,000 a month off of each property. And then, you know, that's going to fund your retirement. I mean, if you can give you about $4,000 or $5,000 in rental income every month that you can take, save, spend, do whatever, then, you know, being entrepreneurs like ourselves, we don't really have 401ks, even though we should. I'm not going to lie, we should. But I started kind of late on that, and hopefully I want to get into that. But I usually take my money and then invest it and do other things. So I usually end up right now, as it is, with like little to no money in reserves. And that's partially right now is because of the salon. But I take it, invest it, and do other things with it. So I think one of the important things you can do is just trying to plan out for the future and talk with people that are either they have the same plan as you, whether they do it or take a different path or not, but they have the same plan as you. And it's something that you're going to have to work with because just like that business partner last night and my other business partner in the salon, you know, we're on different... Sorry, I was getting a message. We're on different... We're shooting to hit the same target, but we're taking a different path to get there. And it makes a lot of sense to actually work with somebody. You know, that person helps you. We want to start like an investment group where we put money in, put money into like a pot or an account, really. And then we both work together. I do trust him. He trusts me with money. We've worked well in the most recent years with our IT consulting company since he's come on board. He wasn't an original founder, but he has shown us some benefits and everything like that with working with him. And but the thing is that's always been great about us is that we're willing to say, hey, listen, we made a mistake. We have a problem. Let's discuss it. Hey, I think you're doing this wrong, so on and so forth. And he's always looking out for the team. And I think that's very important as men to definitely deal with is looking out for the team, making the team, and doing it in a way that is conducive, behooves, is just good for everybody. And, you know, I don't think a lot of men are doing that. especially men and minorities, black men specifically. We just don't do that enough, and I think that's a problem. But I mean, it's an issue that we have to work through. You know, they have the whole crab in a barrel mentality stereotype that you put out there. But it is what it is, and I think the best thing to do is trying to come in with a compromising mindset. Honestly, I do better in my business relationships with my customers, or not my customers, with my business partners, than I do, I guess, maybe even in personal relationships at times. Not that I don't try with women or anything like that, but that's how it works. You know, just you have to be able to compromise, because I don't know, my business partners might see the goal, and maybe it's like my own problem for not actually showing my vision. So, but that might be another video. But it's just something I thought about real quick. Thank you very much. Peace.